Um, Only have a little bit to do this because I got to finish writing a paper tonight. I have it done for the most part. It's just um, I need to like the case is very confusing, and I need to set straight like the procedure, what the party's arguing. All my analysis is done, so that's what I'm gonna be doing after this. But I figured I'd do a quick stream, go over a few Osho videos. Um, I think I'm gonna revisit a few books that I suggested from Osho before, why they stick out, why I think people should read them. I think it's cool to revisit books that you read a long time ago and you see them in a different context. And think about it this way: if you read a book like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, and you remember something from it, it's probably something that had a significant impact on you. And if it can leave that much of an impact on you, you should probably share it with other people so that they can experience the same thing. And I think that's really the coolest part about this channel. That's really the coolest part about literature is we can actively have relationships with authors. We can actively feel like we know this person. We feel like we have insights into their heads, into their minds, and we can start to think and process things like them. And that's really the most inspiring aspect to me. Like, I don't know about you, but I used to be someone that was petrified with a ton of problems. But, in studying more effective minds, more concise minds, more organized minds, I found a way to really overcome some of my biggest weaknesses. And it's just a really cool experience to have. And, gotta appreciate all you guys for everything that you guys do because you guys are the reason why I keep doing this. You guys are the reason why I will continue to do this. And it's just fun. It really is. That's like half the reason I do it. It's one because I like talking about these things, and two, it's just because it's fun. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to hear yourself talk, but it's another to get live input. It's another to go through these videos and try to give my take. And if people find it interesting, they find it interesting. But yeah, we'll get into it. It's so funny. He's going to be 1.5 feet and talk slower than I'm talking right now.
You have no philosophy of life.
No philosophy of life. I have life itself.
No philosophy of life. I have life itself. What he's saying here is so incredibly deep, yet so incredibly simple. Think of it this way. The moment you have a belief system, the moment you have any rigidity, any doctrine, the moment you have to adhere to that in every single circumstance. There's a Latin proverb. It goes, there's no rule without an exception. And I think we should understand this in the context of our lives because when you blindly follow something, when you blindly adhere to a set philosophy, to a set belief system, to a set way of doing things, then you inherently pigeonhole yourself into a lesser existence.
There are people who have philosophies of life, but they don't have any life.
Your philosophy, if there is one, has been expressed in the three L's: love, life, laughter.
So he's talking about philosophy of life. Like if you have a philosophy of life, you have no life. What this means is you're thinking instead of acting. So Osho is against thinking. Thinking is only necessary when we communicate. Thinking is only necessary when someone asks you a question. But most of your day should be spent in pure action. Most of your day should be spent doing things, should be spent acting and being in the mindless state of what Taoists call Wu Wei and Buddhists call no mind.
Is that a philosophy of life?
No.
What? Can you explain that?
It is just a consequence of being silent and in tune with existence. Love arises in you. Life becomes abundant.
He's talking about presence. So think about when you meditate. I'm not sure how many people meditate. I'm not sure how many people understand this analogy, so I'll explain it a different way after. When you meditate, you calm down your mind so that the only thing you're fixating on, the only thing that you're focusing on is this very moment. So the best example is people going thrill seeking. When people go thrill seeking, that heightened danger, that fear that they might lose their life makes them hyper focus on that moment, and it gives them a sense of presence. It gives them a sense of calm. It gives them a sense of almost like bliss, like what Buddha called nirvana, that breath after you pass into something new, that breath after you overcome the world. It gives you temporary states of joy, of bliss, of presence, where nothing else matters except the present moment. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about living in that idea, living in that concept, living in that state where your problems don't matter. We were watching yesterday. No, I didn't stream yesterday. We were watching 2 days ago. Eckhart Tolle. I think that's Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. And he was saying, "Where are your problems?" And that's just one of the most profound questions you can ever ask. Where are your problems? If they're not in front of you right now, then don't worry about them. That's this idea. If you're actively handling a situation, then you can think about it. But if it's outside of your domain right now, if it's something that's not directly apparent in your life, think about it.
Laughter for no reason, just because this whole existence is so hilarious. This is not philosophy. This is the consequence of being silent.
Think of when you see like a dog do something really cute, or like you're at a zoo and the animals just make you smile and laugh. It's that feeling, that idea.
Is it to enjoy life and not worry about tomorrow?
There is no tomorrow. If there is tomorrow, you cannot stop worrying about it. Tomorrow never comes. It is a process of worrying. Neither there is any yesterday. One is no more. One.
There is no tomorrow, there's no yesterday. The moment we begin to start thinking about tomorrow is the moment we begin to start putting off life. So many people have the excuse of I'll do it tomorrow. I'll handle it when I get a chance. I'll do this. Like, how many times have you told yourself you're going to do something tomorrow and you don't? That's exactly what we're doing with our lives. We're telling ourselves each day that we will live tomorrow, that we will be happy tomorrow, that our lives will be perfect tomorrow. And that's just not the case. The case is the longer you prolong your happiness, the more unhappy you're going to be. We all have the ability to be happy right now. If you don't believe me that you could be happy right now, I want you to really look at your life. Really look at the things you have. Look at the blessings you have that not everyone has. Okay. That is one of the most important things you can do, especially when you're so hard on yourself, especially when you're so down. Everything in your life is telling you that you're not enough, that you need to be more. Whether you're not getting a job, whether, you're not getting the grades, whether you're not getting the girl, whether you're not getting the recognition you think you deserve, everything is telling you that you're not good enough. And this is a absolute fallacy, because the truth is you have something that some of the most successful people in the world would love to have. Okay? Whether it's age, whether you're young, I bet you Warren Buffett would pay billions and billions and billions of dollars to be your age so that he could spend more time with his family, so he could spend more time with his kids. You know what I mean? It's just the same thing with Elon. Do you think Elon wants to be kept up all night? Do you think he wants to, check the news and see his name just slandered? You think Bezos wants to be, the person he is, or you think he wants to go, have freedom? He's literally trying to explore the stars because he has nothing better to do. And it's like we have the freedom that we're actively giving away. We have the things that we really, really, really should appreciate. And instead, we're focusing on what we don't have. Okay, I'm telling you, there's probably 5, 10, 20, 100 things in your life right now that you can be gracious for. And if you don't believe me, literally take a list right now. Take a piece of paper, start writing down the things that you have that you appreciate, the things that you have that really mean something to you. And this is an exercise that if you're really down in the dumps, is mandatory. It's homework. You have to do it, because the more you fixate on the good, the more it will begin to be the more apparent it becomes. The more apparent it will become part of your life. And I think there's just an addiction and negativity to that. I think we've been raised on the idea of stress, the idea of fear, the idea that anxiety and all these emotions make us be active, make us go do things, make us, meet the deadline. And the truth is, like, maybe a little bit, but at the same time, it's not worth making your life a living hell.
Is not yet. All that is in our hands is the present moment, now, here. And this is a miraculous experience. If there is no yesterday, no tomorrow, and this very moment you are.
So this is similar to Nietzsche's idea of the eternal recurrence. Think about it this way. The eternal recurrence states that live your life in a manner as if you're bound to repeat it again and again and again for the rest of time. Would you go on making the same decisions? Would you do the same things? Or would you actively align your life with what you want to be, with what you want to become? That's this idea. What's up, Jaden? What's up, Dankwa?
Silent,
How's everything?
all worrying disappears. All imagining, dreaming, projecting disappears. And it is not that you have to enjoy this moment. That rejoicing arises out of this moment. But you are never here. You are always somewhere else.
You're always somewhere else. Think about it. Right now, you're probably worried about something you have to do. You're probably worried about a deadline. You're probably stressing out about something that isn't in front of you right now. What you're doing right now, do right now. If you're doing something else, do that. Don't scatter your attention. Don't scatter your energy. There's this false idea that we can multitask. There's this false idea that we can focus on more than one thing at a time. The truth is, any attention you take away from what it is that you're doing, you're actively self-sabotaging. You're actively taking away from your performance. You're making it more difficult, and you're just going to not perform as well. And it's very weird that we like to try to do everything at once instead of just one thing great, instead of one thing that's very, very excellent. And I really urge you to start thinking in this manner and start thinking of one thing at a time. What can I do right now? And do it.
You are never in the now. You are always then. Otherwise, everything is available, but you are absent. I make my people to understand a very simple fact, not a philosophy, something existential, not philosophical, that you be present to this moment.
The more you think about the now, the more you focus on what you can do now, you kind of break the cycle. So think about it in this way. The past is set in stone. You can't do anything about it. The future that you see is a projection of the past. The only thing that you can actually affect is the now. And the more time and energy you spend in the now, the better you can live, the happier you can live, the greater experience you will have. But we've given ourselves this false trap of like, oh, what's happened in the past is going to continue to happen. That's not the case. That's only the case if you allow it to. But the moment you break the chains, the moment you break the habit of being yourself, is the moment you open up your destiny to whatever it is that you want to be. You're going in. Okay. I don't know what that means. This is going to be an interesting idea. I'm not sure if people have
Somebody told me that the only
thought
devils
about
running
this.
around are the ones that are in our own hearts. Do you think that that's true?
There are no devils.
Where's the Minecraft stream? I'll do it at some point. I just have to learn how to do it. I have a good hairline. I don't have a good hairline.
The gods, all
Thank,
devils
thank you,
disappears.
thank you for guys. That's the greatest comment I've ever gotten. I think it's time to end the stream. I can rest easy. What needed to be said tonight is said. That's it.
They were shadows of your God. Without God, the devil cannot exist. You
Okay, think about it this way before he says anything. Think about addictions. Think about things that hold you back. Think about negative thoughts. Think about problems that face you. They always start out very small, but they get larger and larger as we fall victim to them. We basically create our own enemies. We create our own demons. We create our own struggles. And this is the point he's making.
you will be surprised to know that the word devil and the word divine have the same root. They come from the same root. It is a Sanskrit root. In Sanskrit, divine is called Deva. From Deva comes the English word divine and the devil.
So what he's talking about right now is the idea that for there to be good, there also has to be bad because you need an objective measurement. And it's the dualistic nature that we create that make it harder for us to live. We're actively building up these things in our head that are holding us back. Think of how some people fixate on the devil. Think of how some people fixate on demons and all these things. Like it's very weird to me that you'll be so afraid of these things and fall victim to the exact things that you're afraid of. I mean, this is basic Jungian psychology, but Jung believed that you had to go to the depths of hell to face your own devil, the devil that you've created, come to grips with it, and rise back up to the surface, completely integrated. Because to be fully good is to be in some regards bad. You cannot be good, you cannot be whole, you cannot be complete without both good and bad, without the light and dark. I mean, you can see it in the symbol of Taoism, the black and the white and the black, and then the circle. But yeah.
In fact, the devil and God are two sides of the same coin. There is neither God nor devil. You are there, either asleep or awake. If you are asleep, then life is misery, suffering, anguish, meaninglessness. If you are awake, all disease disappears. For the first time, you find yourself.
So what he's talking about is enlightenment. I don't know if Osho considered himself an atheist. He's very much like similar to Taoism and Buddhism. They're not necessarily theistic religions or theistic philosophies, whatever you want to call it. But you can think of it in the sense of like a Gnostic god, like a godhead, where every single thing you see is part of the same entity and part of the same force, and just different forms of that entity.
Surrounded by tremendous beauty, bliss, silence, serenity. And to experience this, all that is needed is very simple. One should put his prejudices aside. One should not be a Christian. Otherwise, he cannot come to this moment of luminosity. One should put
He's talking about the dogmatic sides. I don't necessarily agree with him here because if you read some of the Christian mystics, they're some of the deepest insights that you can have on the nature of reality.
one's communism aside. Just for the moment. I'm not saying put it aside forever. I'm saying just for the moment put it aside. Because I know once you have put it aside for a single moment, you have put it aside forever.
Why do you think that is?
Because the experience will transform you so totally. You need not go to the church. The whole
Lava
existence
Chicken.
becomes
Should
your
we sing
church.
that?
You need not read the Bible.
Should we learn the Lava Chicken song and sing it on stream?
The songs of the birds, the fragrance of the flowers, The sound of the running waters will give you all the gospels that you need.
So he's hitting on a profound thing here. So what he's talking about is the indescribable nature of whatever it is that ties everything together, whatever force it is that is this world, whatever, whether it's laws of science or laws of nature or God, like there's something beyond explanation. And I think the greatest way I've seen this described is Lao Tzu says, the Tao that is written is not the real Tao, meaning the way that we describe God, the way that we describe the universe could never quite be precise because these things are so beyond our comprehension.
And they will be living. They will not be dead words printed in a book. They will be alive as you are. And if your heart starts dancing with the living that
When are
surrounds
you
you,
making your own book?
what is the need to be a Christian?
So I've written some stuff already. It's all in my school. I don't know if that's the best medium to have it. I just have it there because I can do live streams and then I can put my writings there as well. Um, Sometimes I release my own stuff too on my YouTube channel. What is it? The community tab. I'm like, so the thing about, I don't know if this is like a cope. I don't know if this is like a fear, but like I'm not like inspired to write now. Right now, I haven't written anything in a while. So there's that. I haven't written anything in like 2, 3 weeks, which doesn't seem like a long time, but like when you're someone that is as like expressive and creative as me, that's a very long time. But I also like feel like the more I learn, the better it's gonna get. And I know that I get better at these ideas every day. I get more poetic and I get more profound every single day. So there's also that fear that like I'm gonna release something in like 5 years, be like, what the fuck was this? So it's like that's my main concern right now. But I have written a lot of stuff. It's all in my school. Um, I just put it there so people don't bully me. But yeah, it's in the works. I'm also playing out with different formats because I don't like to write like I'll probably write something that's like in the style of this. I'll probably write something that's in the style of the gay science. I don't want to write like books. Those aren't interesting to me. I'll write novels, I'll write stuff like that, but I don't want to write uh, something. I don't want to write something like with like a rigid structure. Like this book right here is like very scientific, very thought out. I want my stuff to just be like me. Genshin Impact. Yes.
What is the need to be a
I don't,
modern?
isn't that like a game or something?
These are for people who are asleep and have never tasted anything of life. These are toys given to children to play with, to remain engaged, to remain busy. Your religions are not for mature people.
So this is something I kind of disagree with, kind of agree with. Um, Religion in its highest form can be a path to enlightenment, a path to spiritual awakening. Every single religion has had people who have far elevated their consciousness above normal people. But I think for the masses of people, religions can also be some of the greatest drugs. Was it Marx that said religion's the opium of the masses? Um, it's really used today as a control system for a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people can um, get a lot of good from it. But I think it'd be irresponsible and naive to not look at the darker natures of a lot of the religious institutions of the world and say that they're great. You know what I mean? But it's like anything, like give someone power over the spirit, give someone power over millions or billions of people's minds, like they're going to take advantage of it. There's not really people of this world that can resist that temptation. And the people that can don't want to be anywhere near that kind of power because Why do you need power over someone else's mind when you have power over your own? That's really the only thing that you should seek in this world is power over your own mind, the ability to control your own emotions, the ability to tamper and put your energy into good things, into progressive things, into creative things, into uplifting things. But again, there's a reason these people are in power. It's because they're not okay with themselves. When you see someone that's running for office, when you see someone that is trying to do the right thing, trying to do good, never trust them. That's all I'm saying. You know, the people that seek power are the people that need power to make themselves feel worthy. And let me give you a little solution. Even the most powerful people who ever lived, it was never enough. Stalin wanted more power. Caesar wanted more power. Augustus wanted more power. Alexander wanted more power. Mao wanted more power. Nothing will ever satisfy you except your own soul, except the pursuit of yourself. Okay? If I can teach you one thing, please, please, please let it be that. When you find out who you are, when you know who you are, you need nothing else. Okay? When you can sit in the reality that you want to be in, when you can assume the state that you already want to be in, nothing can be better than that. Okay? This is gonna be an interesting one. Oh, I'll react to this and then I think I have to go have to yeah, I've been going for 26 minutes. I was really only gonna do 30. On Osho's headstone, it says never born, never died, only visited. It's just such a so cool. Wow, look who decided to show up. She's finally here, guys.
It seems to me sometimes that, speaking of competition, the quest to influence the human mind may well be the central issue of the next decade or so, from all fronts.
I
How do you
don't
see that?
I don't know when this video was filmed, but like that's pretty profound insight. Think of most of the efforts of governments. Think of how much money goes into news. News really isn't profitable. The only reason that these news agencies are worth so much is because the amount of control they have over people's brains. It's the same thing with social media platforms. Um, there's like very nefarious things if you really want to look into it. The content moderation and certain things pushed and certain things incentivized. It's very weird. It's very social Darwinistic and it's very scary, especially if you read the likes of Brave New World, where one of the central ideas of Brave New World is the idea of distraction, the idea that people love their suffering because they're so distracted they can't look up and smell the rose. They can't see the world for what it is and for what it's become and the scary realities that it's facing. And I think it's very interesting to see a populace that like is very politically motivated yet so distracted. And what I'm trying to say here is like, think of how many people are upset with the government or upset with the way things are, and they're funneled into a very set belief system. They're funneled to do and act and think in very certain ways. It's like, I mean, you put your tinfoil hat on, you're like, oh, maybe this is orchestrated, but you know, I think it's just the natural human tendency to conform, the natural human tendency to want to be part of something, to want to be part of a crowd, to find meaning in numbers, to find because it's not just like the security aspects. Like most people need to be liked by others. Most people need to feel safe, need to feel secure. They like the aspect that oh, we believe the same thing, we're motivated behind a cause. It's a very weird phenomenon, but
And
that's just me.
if you agree or disagree, how do you see that kind of competition for beliefs?
My approach is totally different. I want to destroy all belief systems, Catholic or communist, does not matter.
What about the belief system that doesn't believe in belief systems?
It is not a belief system.
Oh, I see.
It cannot be.
Robert Anton Wilson said that when you believe in something, you stop thinking and you might as well be brain dead. And I think that's one of the greatest ideas because it's only through questioning our own beliefs, it's only through questioning our own prejudices and really coming to grips with who we are, really coming to grips with our ideas that we can transcend the self. If you want a cheat sheet on what every single mystical school talks about, whether it's alchemy, whether it's Taoism, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Christianity, whether it's the Sufis, it's transcending the self. It's getting beyond yourself. It's recognizing the fact that yourself is not real. The ego, the things that you've been told you are, the things that you embody, the characteristics, the traits, the house, the car, the job, the title, those things are not you. And when you drop all fixation, when you drop all attachment to these ideas, that is the nirvana, that is the state of bliss, that is the state of enlightenment. Okay? That's literally all you need to know. You don't need to know anything else. And if you ponder that for the rest of your life, you will be extremely happy. It sounds extremely simple, but it's one of the hardest things you'll do because every instinct in your mind is telling you to go get more money, go get more power, go get more influence, go do all of these things. And that's the exact opposite thing that you want to do if you want to find eternal happiness.
A belief system. It simply deprograms people, but it does not program them. It leaves them clean, tabula rasa, no writing on them, just the way they were born, innocent. So my function is here to deprogram the Jew, the Hindu, the Mohammedan, whoever comes to me. I have to destroy his belief system. I'm not trying to influence him in favor of.
I don't think you have to destroy your belief systems. I think you should take whatever belief system you have and look to the symbolic, metaphysical elements of it. So, I mean, Christianity has a lot, but like for me, the elements that I look to is the purification of the soul, bearing the sins of the world, bearing the cross, and dying and being reborn new, taking the pain, taking the suffering, and turning it into something higher. It's the same thing in Buddhism, the same thing with karma. You know, with karma, you take the sins of the world, you take the wrong actions, and you purify them. You take the pain, you take the suffering, and you either accept it and drop it, or you transform that energy into something better, and it's healed. It's all the same ideas. It's the same thing with alchemy, the transmutation of the soul into something higher. All the lower energies, all the negativity, all the negative emotions are transmuted into a higher purpose, a higher form of your soul.
Another belief system.
It's
I have
said-
none.
It's said that nature detests a vacuum, that something will fill.
No,
the
that
human
is
mind.
not true. Because for 32 years, I have been absolutely nothing. So it may be objectively true as
So what he said is very, very profound. If you take the Taoist idea of when you get to the essence of nothingness, there's something, and that something is everything. So a really easy example is I may look different from you. You may look different from the things in front of you, but when you go down to the atoms, they're all just electrons and protons and neutrons. Like everything is in fact the same, yet everything is different. And it's that paradox, it's that dualistic nature that some of the greatest insights are found. Okay, we were talking about good and evil before. It's the combination of good and evil that make good and evil what they are. Without good, there's no evil. Without evil, there's no good. It's this idea. Miyamoto Musashi said it very well. Once you know the way, you see it in all things.
As far as science is concerned, that nature abhors vacuum, but as far as spiritual interior world is concerned, it is just the opposite. The deeper you go, the more you find yourself empty. Ultimately, you find yourself just a zero. And that is the point of enlightenment.
That is the point of enlightenment. It's Buddha said all of your suffering comes from desire. So when you drop all your desire, you drop all your suffering, and you're weightless. You get to the state where nothing matters. You get to the state where it doesn't matter what happens to you, it doesn't matter the external circumstances because nothing can get to you, nothing can bother you.
Your ego has disappeared, your greed has far away disappeared, you have disappeared. There is only light, life, infinite, eternal. But you are not there as a person, but just a pure consciousness.
You're not there as a person, but just pure consciousness. Osho believes there's a split in the self. There's a split that happens from birth. So you're born whole and you're made imperfect. And this is the idea that every time your teacher tells you to sit still, every time your parent reprimands you, every time you don't get your way, every time you're yelled at for just acting, for just being, you hide that part of yourself. And that part of yourself lies dormant and it creates this fake self. It creates this ego. It creates this false sense of consciousness. And when we can realign ourselves with who we used to be, then we can realign ourselves with pure consciousness, with pure happiness, with pure completeness. And this is what has been called enlightenment. This is this idea. It's, like I said before, transcending the self, transcending the ego, transcending the holdings you have with this world, dropping all attachments and belonging purely to that consciousness.
And it is nothingness. Buddha actually has given it the name nothingness, nirvana. That means nothingness. In the Western world, no religion has reached to that point. All the Western religions, the three, Christian, Judaic tradition, and Mohammedanism, which are born out of India. The other three religions which are born in India, Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, all three have reached to the point where you enter into a
Even like the Gnostics, the Kabbalists, the Sufis. I don't know about the Sufis, but they don't really talk about the end stage of things. They don't really talk about the alignment stage of things. They merely talk about the pursuit. I mean, you can look a lot of symbols you can just understand through alchemy, but again, we're getting into the weeds of things.
inner zero. And that is their ultimate goal, to be nothing. And it is never filled by anything.
You won't be surprised to learn that I don't understand any of that.
You will not. And I'm not.
So the ultimate goal is to be nothing. What I was saying earlier of knowing yourself, finding yourself is that nothingness. When you're completely aligned with who you should be, who you want to be, that's the state of nothingness. That's the state of enlightenment.
Surprised. Because how can you understand something that you have never experienced? For example, if you have never tasted sugar, whatever I do, there is no way to explain you the taste of it. I will have to ask my sannyasins to hold you and force a spoonful of sugar into your mouth. That's the only way. It looks a little hard, but what can be done?
He's so funny for no
Unless you
reason.
taste it, you will not understand it.
I was
So
mentioning
if you
it
really want
last
to
time I was
understand what I am
streaming,
saying about inner nothingness,
but if you watch his eyes, he never blinks.
come here, be here for a few days,
I
meditate
guess
with
he.
my
I
people
love
who
how he
have
just did.
experienced it.
He like rarely blinks though, because he says he meditated so long his body doesn't need to anymore. It's just so funny. But I think I'm gonna end it because I gotta go do some work. But if you were here, thank you guys so much for Okay, I think I just ended the stream anyway because I reloaded it. No, wait, I didn't. If you guys were here, thank you guys so much. I will catch you tomorrow.